Willie. It's by Ezra Jack Keats. Your thoughts in your head. He is the author and the illustrator. So he wrote and he drew all the pictures in the book, okay? So this is Peter. We read about Peter yesterday, but we're going to read about him a lot again. And this is Willie. This is Peter's dog. So Peter is doing something with his mouth, and then Willie is walking away. And in this book, Peter's going to try to do something that's very grown up. So let's read the book and find out what he's going to do, okay?
Emily.
Ready? It is first page. Oh, how Peter wished he could whistle. When you wish you can do something, you really want to do something. And whistle, that's when you make your mouth like this and you whistle. Can you guys try with me? Okay, let's stop now. Ready? He saw a boy playing with his dog. Whenever the boy whistled, the dog ran straight to him. So I think Peter really wants to do this with his dog, Willie. Peter tried and tried to whistle, but he couldn't. So instead, he began to turn himself around, around and around. He whirled faster and faster. So can everyone get up, stand up, and then just turn around in their seat? Whirl, whirl, whirl. Okay, stop. Everybody stop, and then crisscross applesauce. Hands in their lap. Thank you. So, he tried to whistle, but because he couldn't whistle, he just gave up, and instead he just twirled around. When he stopped, everything turned down, and up, and up, and down, and around, and around. So Peter is really dizzy, because he was whirling around. And look, you see that he's trying to put his hands out? Yeah. He's trying to keep his balance. Balance means that he's trying to keep his body steady so he doesn't fall on the ground. Peter saw his dog Willie coming. Quick as a wink, so that means he did it really fast. So wink is really fast. Quick as a wink, he hid in an empty carton lying on the sidewalk. That's strange. I wonder what he's doing in there. Let me read it one more time, okay? Peter saw his dog Willie coming. Quick as a wink, he hid in an empty carton lying on the sidewalk. Oh, okay. So Peter is hiding in the carton because Willie is coming and he doesn't want Willie to see him.
Why?
Let's find out. Wouldn't it be funny if I whistled, Peter thought? Willie would stop and look all around and see who it is. Peter tried again to whistle, but he couldn't. So Willie just walked on. So Peter must be very disappointed because he keeps trying to whistle, but it's not working. Every time he tries to whistle, it doesn't come out. Peter got out of the carton and started walking home. On the way, he took some colored chalks out of his pocket and he drew a long, long line. So Peter drew this long line of chalk. No, he drew it right up to his door. So I wonder what door this is. Oh, I remember. The author said that he got out of the carton and started walking home. So that's probably the door to his home, right? This is his home, the door to his home. He stood there and he tried to whistle again. He blew till his cheeks were tired, but nothing happened. So here's Peter and he's trying to whistle, but nothing is coming out. He went into his house and put on his father's old hat to make himself feel more grown up. He looked into the mirror to practice whistling. So look, there's two Peters, but only one Peter is real. The other Peter is his reflection in the mirror. A reflection is his image. So when you guys look in the mirror, you see yourself, right? So that's his reflection. Good. If you see yourself in the mirror, on your nose. Put your finger on your nose. Good. Okay, hands in your lap. Now, maybe Peter thought that if he could look at himself in the mirror and see himself, then he could practice whistling and it would come out. He's really persistent, right? Persistent means that he tries over and over again. So he's trying a lot of times, right? Let's see. Let's try to remember. Okay, let's keep our thoughts in our head. If you have something to tell me, you can tell me later during second time. Okay, so when he stopped, remember when he was trying to twirl? It's because he tried whistling and he couldn't. And then when he was in the carton, he tried whistling at Willie, but he couldn't. So he tried a lot of times in the book to whistle, but he couldn't. That means he's persistent. So when his mother saw what he was doing, Peter pretended that he was his father. He said, "I've come home early today, dear. Is Peter home?" His mother answered, "Why, no, he's outside with Willie." "Well, I'll go out and look for them," said Peter. That's funny. Peter is trying to pretend to be his father. So he's not really his father, right? But he's pretending. And his mother is playing along. That's why Peter goes outside. Okay. You can ask me that later during center, okay? So first, he walked along a crack on the sidewalk. Let's see what Peter's doing here. He puts his hands out and he's trying to balance on the crack because he doesn't want to fall over to the side. He wants to walk right on the crack. Then he tried to run away from his shadow. So here's Peter and his shadow. Okay? So a shadow, does everyone know what a shadow is? Okay, well, okay, keep your thoughts in your head. I'm going to tell you what a shadow is. So shadow is the shade when your body blocks the sun. But silly Peter, you can't run away from your shadow, right? Because it's what your body makes when the sun is shining. And so he's trying to run away from his shadow, but it keeps on following him. Keep your thoughts in your head.
That's so scary.
Yes, thank you. Okay. He jumped off his shadow, but when he landed, they were together again. He came to the corner where the carton was. Here's the carton that he hid in earlier. And who should he see but Willie? There's Willie. He's walking around the corner, but he's not looking at Peter. So I don't think he sees Peter yet. Peter scrambled under the carton. So scrambling is when you get on your knees and your hands really quickly, and then he climbed under the carton. Oh, I bet he's going to try to whistle again under the carton, right? He blew and blew and blew, and suddenly,
Whistle.
okay, a real whistle. He did it. He was trying so hard all this time and it never happened, right? I bet he was really surprised when he could whistle because it was the first time he did it. Willie stopped and looked around and to see who it was. So I bet Willie was really surprised too because he heard a whistle. I bet he's wondering, oh, who is that whistle coming from? It's me, Peter shouted and stood up. So it's me, he shouted. Oh, stay on the ground. Willie, look at him, he's smiling. Willie's smiling because he's happy to see him. Willie raced straight to him, so that means he ran really fast to Peter. So I bet he's really excited to see Peter. Peter ran home to show his father and mother what he could do. They loved Peter's whistling, and so did Willie. So look, they're all smiling at him because they're happy that he just whistled. Peter's mother asked him and Willie to go on an errand to the grocery store. So an errand, I'll tell you what an errand is. It's when you go and do something. Okay. So I'll tell you. So Peter probably went to the grocery store. And look, he's carrying groceries for his mom. Things he bought. And then Willie is probably carrying something for Peter because Peter can't carry it. It's too heavy. So he whistled. Look, if you look at his mouth, he whistled all the way there to the grocery store, and then he whistled all the way home. So I bet now that Peter can whistle, he's practicing, which means you're doing it many times so you can get better. Yeah, so when you guys practice, you will get better at things too. So let's look back at the book, because This Chung is having a hard time remembering what happened. Yeah, or I'm gonna just. So remember when Peter saw the boy whistling at his dog, he really wanted to whistle, but he tried and he couldn't. Yeah, and then remember when he hid in the carton, he tried to whistle again, but he couldn't. And then Willie didn't hear anything, so he just walked away. And then remember in front of the mirror, he tries to whistle again, but nothing comes out, and he's really disappointed. He's really sad because he can't whistle. Then remember at the end of the book, when he sees Willie around the corner and he tries to hide in the carton. So why do you guys think he's hiding in the carton? Because
the dog wants to see it.
Yeah, he wants Willie to come when Willie comes, right? So can Willie see him right now? No, right? Because he's hiding in the carton. He's hiding in the carton. So what does he want to do inside of the carton?
Whistle.
Yeah, he wants to whistle, right? Because he wants Willie to look around and see who's whistling. And then what happens? What happens when he says
Willie is happy.
Yeah, because he whistles, right? Peter whistles and then he's happy, right? Yeah, so that's why he hid in the carton. He really wanted Willie to hear a whistle and then see him. So, yeah, let's all cheer. Hip, hooray! Hip, hooray! Okay, so guys, the next time we read this, Peter worked really hard to whistle, right? Were you guys? I was really happy for Peter. If you guys were really happy for Peter, do a thumbs up. Thumbs up. You guys are really happy that Peter was able to whistle, right? And I bet he's feeling very proud. Proud. Do you guys remember what proud is? It's when you feel really good.
Really happy.
Hands in your laps. Okay, hands in your laps. Manuel, hands in your lap. Okay, I see William's hand is in his lap. I see Jose's hand is in his lap. Good. Okay, so next time we read this book, we're going to read more about Peter and Willie and also see how Peter was feeling when he was, in this book, the next time we read this book. Okay, so is everyone ready? Put their hands in their lap. Crisscross up.